Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the source material behind a massive topic that, honestly, seems to pop up in literally every single architectural planning meeting right now. We're looking at the perceived decline of Java and its actual, undeniable reality in the modern enterprise stack. We're going to break down the hard data, the real performance metrics, and the big architectural shifts defining 2026.
Right off the bat, let's confront the elephant in the room. Every tech decision maker is debating this exact question right now. With artificial intelligence totally dominating the headlines and Python becoming the absolute default for new developers, there's this really loud narrative out there that Java is just, well, a legacy technology waiting to be replaced. But we have to ask, is that actually true? Is Java really obsolete? Let's take a look at the numbers.
So there is a massive gap right now between public perception and reality. Check this out. If you look at the TIOB index for April 2026, you'll see Python sitting pretty at 20.97%, while Java is way down at 7.79%. That is a 13-point spread. To put that into perspective, that is the widest gap between these two languages in TIOB's entire 25-year history. Crazy, right? If you just skimmed the developer popularity surveys, you'd probably think Java's fading fast. But as we're going to see in a minute, popularity and production reality are two very, very different things.
Here's how we're going to unpack the myth versus the reality today. First, the 2026 language landscape. Number 2, Java's enterprise dominance. 3, the performance advantage. 4, inside Java 25. And finally, number 5, the polyglot future.
Okay, Section 1. The 2026 language landscape.
To really understand this landscape, we have to look at the fundamentally different philosophies that got these two languages to where they are today. Let's start with Python. Guido van Rossum, the creator of Python, famously said, "Code is read much more often than it is written." And you can really feel that. Python's whole design heavily optimizes for developer velocity and readability. It is just incredibly concise. In fact, Python codebases often require literally 3 to 5 times less code than a Java equivalent for the exact same feature. Because it's so frictionless and backed by a massive library ecosystem, Python is the undisputed king of greenfield AI, machine learning, and data science projects today. It is built from the ground up for rapid iteration.
Moving on to Section 2. Java's enterprise dominance.
So, if we look past those developer surveys and focus on what's actually running in production around the world, things look incredibly different. The crucial takeaway here is this staggering figure from the Azul 2025 State of Java survey. 99% of surveyed organizations actively use Java. 99%. Basically everyone. On top of that, nearly 70% of those enterprises report that over half of their applications are built with Java or run on the JVM. That is a ridiculously deep footprint. So yeah, Python definitely has the developer mindshare right now. But Java absolutely owns the enterprise deployment footprint.
And looking at the workload breakdown brilliantly illustrates exactly why that is. While Python completely owns the rapid MVP, data engineering, and machine learning spaces, Java is fundamentally entrenched in multi-decade transaction-heavy systems. We're talking about banking cores handling trillions of dollars every single day, complex insurance claims processing, and mission-critical services with incredibly strict SLAs. Java's strict backward compatibility and static type safety make it the absolute go-to for systems that, quite simply, cannot afford to fail.
Let's dive into Section 3, the performance advantage.
Now, you might be wondering, why exactly does Java hold that critical ground? Well, when you look at raw performance, specifically simple REST API requests per second, per core, the difference is pretty striking. Python, using a modern framework like FastAPI, performs comfortably around 20,000 requests per second, and honestly, that's plenty for most applications. But Java, using Spring Boot, easily triples that, hitting up to 60,000 requests per second. Java's raw throughput advantage and its JVM optimizations are absolutely essential for extreme-scale domains. Think high-frequency trading or massive telecom networks where every single microsecond literally translates to money. And of course, we have to talk about memory. Java uses an automatic memory management system called garbage collection. Now, historically, developers complained a lot about stop-the-world pauses in Java. But here in 2026, modern garbage collectors like Shenandoah and ZGC completely prevent those system pauses that used to plague high-frequency systems. They're operating at sub-millisecond speeds now. It is an absolute game-changer for enterprise back-end latency.
Which brings us to Section 4, inside Java 25.
So how exactly is Java maintaining this ironclad grip on the enterprise while still trying to improve developer velocity to compete with Python? Well, Java 25, which is a long-term support release, by the way, isn't about radically disrupting the language. It maintains that all-important backward compatibility. Instead, it's all about steady refinement. It's about lowering the friction for developers and making the day-to-day coding experience way smoother and a whole lot more modern.
For example, by introducing major updates like compact source files, you don't need explicit class declarations and static main methods just to write a simple script anymore. That greatly reduces the boilerplate everyone used to complain about. We've also got flexible constructor bodies, which completely removes that annoying old rule that forced you to call super on the very first line of a constructor. Plus, module import declarations are drastically cutting down the visual noise of those endless import lists. And scoped values, they're a standard feature now, offering a much safer, predictable alternative to thread local for passing contextual data. Long story short, Java 25 is directly answering developer complaints about verbosity.
But even with all these cool modernizations, Java hasn't lost its core identity. I love this quote from James Gosling, the creator of Java. He once said, "Java is C++ without the guns, knives, and clubs." And these modern Java 25 upgrades perfectly preserve that original philosophy. Yes, they make the language less noisy and faster to write, but they still prioritize creating a structured, memory-safe environment designed specifically for massive enterprise teams to collaborate on safely over decades.
Finally, Section 5, the polyglot future. So where does this leave us? How do these two heavyweight champions actually coexist in the real world moving forward? While the smartest CTOs out there in 2026 aren't trying to declare a single winner between Python and Java, they recognize that hybrid stacks are the true enterprise pattern. Look at companies like Netflix, Spotify, or Airbnb. They all run polyglot architectures. They're leveraging a hybrid approach where Java handles the raw transactional backbone, the strict SLAs, and the heavy throughput. Meanwhile, Python runs right alongside it to power the AI intelligence, the data engineering, and the machine learning models. It's all about using the right tool for the job.
I want to leave you with this provocative thought as you sit down to consider the architectural blueprints for your next massive application. How does your stack balance extreme performance with developer velocity? Are you forcing one language to do a job it just wasn't designed for? Or are you ready to embrace the hybrid future? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope this gives you a much clearer picture of the enterprise software landscape today. Catch you next time.